So with
Yes.
me now, I have Darren Tate, who is an award-winning international producer and DJ.
Hey.
And I first started listening to Darren's music in 2000. This was after I had heard It's My Turn. And as the years went by, I started listening to more of his songs and I developed an appreciation for his music. It was because of this that I reached out to Darren in 2006 when I was studying music technology, and he was only too happy to answer my questions and to offer his support. And a number of years later, in 2012, I ended up reaching out again to find out if he would be open to being interviewed for my Interviews with Successful People project. I continued to listen to his older songs as the years went by, and I wondered if he would start producing trance music again.
Mm.
And when I heard Climb last year, I thought it was clear that he was back to producing the goods once again. And after hearing this song, along with Pieces and Cycles, my mind was flooded with another set of questions that I wanted to ask Darren. So now I've got Darren here, so I can ask him all these questions
Go
that
ask
my
away.
mind. And a number of these questions actually came to my mind when I was out running.
Okay.
And so you took a break from creating trance music, making a return last year. How come?
Well, I was still doing tracks from time to time, but I was mainly focused for a long time, especially from 2007 onwards, on film scoring,
Yeah.
and I kind of got on board the progressive house movement for a while under my 8 Ball alias. I did a lot of records under that name. We did mixes for My Digital Enemy and Future Sound of London and all kinds of acts. I was actually working quite actively on that front and house records as well. Um, but I've always, trance was my first major foray into professional music, in electronic music, I should say. And so, I've always loved it. And I felt it was time to, come back to it and really I wanted to raise the bar again. And I'm very excited by I think, although there is obviously a lot of derivative music out there, I think there are people out there that are making fresh tunes as well. And I'm trying to evolve that sound and keep it as exciting as it ever was to me back in the day.
Yeah, didn't you do some songs with Boy George as well?
That's right. I had an act called Funky Sober, which was with Mark Vito as well. And we had a few releases, one called Sunshine Into My Life, which is great, feel good house record. It's actually
Yeah,
got really
yeah,
lovely uplifting chords and could be a trance record in itself in a way. Yeah, I did that uh, and some house records under the name. Like I did one with Mark on New State Records, called Body Rock, and worked with My Digital Enemies, Harry Diamond for a while, and in fact signed. We were working together when I did my last pre-cycles signing to Anjuna Beats, which was called Electrified back in about 6 years ago now. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because that stood out. Because I actually saw when I was very small, I saw Boy George at a concert,
Mm.
and I was a huge fan of his back then. So, what was the motivation for you to start producing trance music again?
Well, like I said, I mean, I had still been doing tracks, but I'd actually I was quite ill. I don't know if you're aware, but just over a year and a half ago, I was in a hospital. I had pneumonia, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I think after that, I was actually sitting there with a laptop, not in the best state, and I started doodling some new trance records, and I thought I just want to get back home and get on with some new stuff. I had an urge to do it.
yeah,
Um, but obviously, although I've done a lot of this the 138 star records. I came back with that. A lot of what I'm currently working on is what I think is an evolution of the sound, and that's where I'm at my head's at with it right now. I'm trying to add, I'm trying to take it somewhere else, but not. I still love the emotion. I want to have the emotion.
Yeah.
I want the production. I want the energy, but um, I want to give it new flavors, if you like. So, and so since then, I've just been driven to doing that.
And did it take you long to get back into the flow of creating trance music?
Not really. No, I mean I've been doing it since since the 90s, really. And I mean I had a fascination with making electronic music when I was 6. So I used to go to the rock shop in Camden and look at synthesizers. So I always had
Yeah.
an interest in doing all of that kind of thing. So you know, uh, for me, it's just been a case of I just just kept doing what I love and just kept trying to evolve those sounds,
Yeah.
and so coming back to doing that was just doing more of that.
And after taking a break, how did it feel to see your new productions doing so well?
Well, it's great to see the support I've had from fans and people writing in, and from the record labels themselves. Everyone's been great, and it seems like that there's a new wave of enthusiasm happening in regards to trance music right now, and the where it's going. There's a from especially on you obviously on one hand you do have the more EDM sound, and then the other you've got the more progressive, which is where my head's at. But yeah, no, it's great to see how things are developing, and the feedback has been tremendous from people, and I'll hope to keep delivering, and making people giving them more moments, basically.
Well, you've definitely got a thumbs up from my side for
Thanks,
these
man.
great productions. I was actually thinking about when I was listening to Prayer for a God when I was in
Yeah.
holiday, and I just kind of, and I was in the gym there, and it's just such a great song. And so before and during the time you were creating these songs that have recently come out, did you imagine other people responding well and the songs doing well? Did you already see that in your mind?
I think so. I mean, I think that especially now. I mean, I'm really, really, really fussy about what I put out now. Like fussier than I've ever been by miles. I'm very demanding to myself. I will write a lot of records and scrap them, or I'll work on something and and sometimes it comes together really quickly. Sometimes it can take ages, but I'm my own worst enemy in that regards. I'm very demanding as to the standards. So if I put something out, I'm going to be believing in it, and I think that's more the case now than ever before.
Yeah, it definitely shows the quality of these songs.
Thanks.
And before you started to release this latest batch, was there ever any moments where you wondered if you could still do it?
Oh no, I thought I could still do it. I mean, it's the trick. It's not the writing the music part as much as it is being inventive and creative, and most fundamentally, uh, making sure your production is just has to be just so good, and
Yeah.
and you know, we've evolved digitally from an age when people could only afford so long in recording studios. The ability to just record tracks was in itself costly, timely, and so there was a limitation to a point where engineering is now become such a focused art. Your every moment in a record requires requires a introspection, a study as to what and how to make it stand out in every way possible, and that's the standard that the best producers are trying to reach, and that's what I'm trying to obtain all the time.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's not like, especially with yourself, with your background in classical music, it's not just you turned up and thought, "Oh, I'll throw a few sounds together and hopefully it'll do well."
Yeah.
Obviously, highly trained, and you've recently started DJing again. How did it feel to be behind the decks?
It's really great. I have been incredibly selective as to the events that I've chosen to play at, and I've turned down quite a lot. And to be honest, um, while I love it and have enjoyed it tremendously, I'm moving to a phase now where I'm moving to the area of wanting to do live performances,
Mm, yeah.
which is going to be the whole concept of taking what I've written and reinventing it so that everyone who goes and sees me plays gets a unique performance for them.
Mm,
So
yeah.
everything, so the music is always evolving, but and I love playing the piano, and other instruments, and so I want to bring that passion into the performance, not just give people the music they love, which I still want to do, but I want to be
Mm.
able to entertain them and surprise them as well.
Yeah, it reminds me of what Hans Zimmer did a little while ago, where he played everything live.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And so, what about your future plans? What's on the horizon? What can all your fans look forward to?
Well, so we've got the third Leave It All Behind EP that's coming out on the
Yeah.
31st of May on Maelstrom Records. We have done obviously these two EPs before, and of course the Cycles released on Njuna. It's all building into this new album, which is pretty much we can say that it's pretty much there, which is going to be a DT8 project album and thus a follow up to Perfect World, which I did back in 2007. So 12 years since the last big one. But it's going to be really great, and I'm really excited about it. It's got some really wonderful music on. I mean, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I'm pretty proud of it. So, and I hope people really like it. So that is definitely on the short term horizon. And there's going to be some singles off that as well, which I think I'm again very proud of. So that stuff, and then I've on other areas I've been working on various major orchestral projects with various labels, and we'll be talking about all that later on in the year. So that's all very exciting as well.
So, do you think that'll be one of your special live performances this year, or will that be next year now?
Well, we're going to plan all that out. We're doing talks with people about it right now. The key thing right now is I want to get the album out. So that's really what I'm driving towards right now. The show, I have been preparing the show. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way, and been working on it, and the technology behind it. That's all been, and that's part of it. But the current step is we want the album out, and then we'll start talking to people about when we're touring it.
Yeah, well, I've actually got the DT8 project album here. My sister actually got it, I think, for my birthday, and I
There you
think
go.
there was two versions, isn't there? And there's
That's
the
right.
other. There's
Yeah.
a song and it starts off with the dawn of creation. I can't remember what it's called. Female singer, but it's not on this version. So I listened to it on YouTube. It's such a deep song, great
Yeah.
lyric.
I
Oh,
think
brilliant stuff.
I think it was as the days grow old.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Central Station released the album. Was it Central Station? Was Just Music, one or the other, in Australia, and
Yeah.
so there was that version, and so there was a slight alteration that occurred, and I honestly can't remember how that happened. But then when we released it on Mondo in the UK, we had that record on it. So yeah. So and maybe it might be that we altered it just before we released it, and I included it for the British version. I decided to make the last second change or something.
Yeah.
But I honestly can't remember.
All right. Well, that's all the questions done for
Okay.
today, Darren. So thanks for your time
My pleasure.
for the interview.
Yes, my pleasure, man. Take care.